Iowa has some of the lowest car insurance rates in the country. Sounds great, right? Problem is, about half the drivers I talk to in Iowa are carrying liability coverage that won't cover a serious accident. One rear end collision with a newer vehicle, and you've blown past the state minimum. We see this all the time. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what Iowa actually requires, where that leaves you vulnerable, and what coverage actually makes sense for Iowa driving. Iowa's minimum liability is $20,000 per person, $40,000 per accident, and $15,000 for property damage. That's among the lowest in the Midwest. Here's the issue. Average hospital admission in Iowa runs $15,000 to $25,000. Serious injuries, $100,000 plus. Your $20,000 limit covers maybe one person's medical bills before you're personally liable for the rest. And that $15,000 property damage minimum, average car today costs $25,000 to $48,000. You're short. Iowa doesn't require uninsured motorist coverage, and about 10 to 12% of Iowa drivers don't carry it. That means 1 out of every 10 drivers on the road has nothing. If an uninsured driver hits you without coverage, you're paying for your own repairs and medical treatment out of pocket. I see clients every week who didn't realize they had this gap until they needed it. Here's what most people miss. Iowa ranks in the top 5 states nationally for deer collisions. 1 in 55 chance annually. That's nearly double the national average. A deer strike is covered by comprehensive, not collision. If you're carrying liability only to save money, a deer that totals your car comes entirely out of your pocket. In my agency, I always tell Iowa clients that comprehensive isn't optional. The risk is just too high. April through September during hail season makes it even worse. Here's what I recommend to clients: $100,000 per person, $300,000 per accident in bodily injury liability, $100,000 property damage. Same limits for uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, 5 to 10,000 in medical payments coverage, and comprehensive and collision if your vehicle is worth more than 6,000. In rural Iowa, full coverage still runs 800 to 1,000 a year. Des Moines Metro runs 12 to 1,500. The number one thing I see go wrong is drivers assuming Iowa's low rates mean they can cheap out on coverage. Someone takes liability only because it saves $300 a year, then hits a parked car, and the property damage alone is $9,000. Now they're liable for the difference. That $300 saved just cost them $5,500 out of pocket. It's the wrong trade-off every time. If you're in Iowa and you're not sure